That's where that came from.
Bees are dying, and our survival depends on them. That's why 4RB's created the Pure Wave Cell, a breakthrough quantum device proven to help hives thrive, doubling colonies and boosting honey production naturally. Every jar of our Pure Wave honey fuels this mission, supporting beekeepers worldwide. Visit 4RBs.com. That's the number 4RBs.com, and use code WITF for 20% off. Save the bees. Save us all!
Where in the Folk is not and should not be viewed as a news source. Any names, places, or likenesses mentioned are purely fictional, and any information discussed is purely speculative. Guest opinions are their own and do not reflect those of anyone else. Where in the Folk is not responsible for content accuracy of any stories that are told or what people do with these stories. This show is vulgar, sometimes graphic, and due to its content, it should not be viewed by anyone actually.
Welcome to another episode of Where in the Folk.
Don't sound so enthused.
My name is Cecil, and thank you for joining me, Morgana, and Tolly as we delve into gangs. I wore my gang shirt, but the gangs we're talking about ain't so wholesome. So
Nice.
I wore my gang shirt.
gang, gang violence.
I could throw up the, I don't know, does that say blood or bold?
Bold.
Usually
Booed. It says
I
booed.
never realized that's what it was supposed to be.
It says
Yeah.
booed.
blood or
Boob.
No, it says bold.
sometimes I do it. It says blood. Sometimes it says bold, can't control it.
Can't
Well,
control that.
you tried. That's what matters.
Yeah. So Tully's back from his vacation.
Momentarily.
We've decided you don't get to go to Florida this year.
No.
Yeah, it's been a long road on that front. I've had a lot of trials and tribulations over the last month.
I've been pushing your thong, but nobody's buying it.
If only.
If only. I've explained to him how to use it and everything.
He did. I heard him
yeah.
last weekend.
Yeah, your good old buddy Frank showed up last weekend
Shut up where?
in the chat here.
Really?
Yeah.
That's odd. What about?
What? He's just in the chat. He said, "Hey, y'all," and I said, "Hey, Frank, you may be interested in buying one of Tully's thongs." But anyway, how do you got? I know that Morgana's got something she wants to go over, so we'll go ahead and get started.
So I want to talk about the Yakuza from Japan. Yep, they are one of the oldest and most structured criminal organizations in the world, dating all the way back to the 1600s. But unlike a lot of gangs, they have always been pretty much semi out in the open. They have offices, they've got business cards, they even do disaster relief after hurricanes and stuff. But, that's kind of on the surface level because they have a brutal code of loyalty. And, it's almost like a culture. A lot of their members will go in for the full body tattoos. They've got this real rigid hierarchy. And it's so much of it is based around what they consider honor. But at the same time, there's a lot of violence that goes into it. So again, it goes all the way back to the 17th century. And it started with two separate groups. There were the Bakuto, which were gamblers that were running illegal dice games, and the Takiya, which were the street peddlers that organized markets and stalls. But they both kind of lived on the fringes of society. And of course, they were looked down on and everything. But they eventually formed a really tight-knit group for protection. And the name Yakuza comes from a losing hand in a card game, which basically means 8, 9, and 3, but it means worthless. So they took, an insult and turned it into an identity.
That's cool.
Yeah, they have they have a strict hierarchical system, and it's almost like a pseudo family because they have the Oyabun, which is the father, and the Kobun, which are the subordinates that they refer to as the children. And you don't work for the boss, you belong to the boss. There's a ceremony and everything, and it is intended to be a lifelong bond. And if you break that bond, it's generally fatal. So one of the biggest things about them, again, are their full body tattoos. And it's not just casual ink. They're traditionally done by hand. So there's no gun, doing it all fast. It's old fashioned, slow, painful, and they get them, they cover their back, their chest, their arms, their thighs, and they often leave a strip down the center of their chest bare so that they can hide everything under clothing. But said that the imagery tends to be symbolic: dragons for strength, koi for perseverance, samurai for honor. And it really doesn't have anything to do with making them look tough. They consider it a type of storytelling that represents their identity and their endurance for having sat through all of this, hand tattooing and everything. And the thing about it is, in modern Japan, tattoos are so associated with the Yakuza that people with visible ink are often banned from public bathhouses and gyms because they don't.
I knew that.
Yep. So one of the things that really kind of stands out to a lot of people too is it's called yabitsun. It's a ritual of cutting off part of your own fingers to atone for a mistake. So generally it's the part of your pinky finger, and it's done with a blade, and you present it to your boss as an apology. And
I'd be all thumbs.
Yeah.
Thing too, and I didn't realize this because I had heard about the cutting off the fingers and stuff, but because it being the pinky, historically, if you lose your pinky, it weakens your grip on a sword, making you more dependent on your boss for protection. So it's almost a symbolic submission, that, I need family now more than I ever needed them. But it's kind of a strange mix of crime and community service, because it's kind of a gray area. Because like I said, they're involved in extortion and gambling and protection rings and drug trafficking. But then they provide disaster relief faster than the government in a lot of cases. And they've always maintained a visual presence that actually reduces street crime in the areas where they're active at.
I believe that.
Yeah.
Down bad. She's talking about Yakuza.
Yes. Yep.
I like that name too. Down bad.
Uh-huh.
I like that.
Yeah, that's cool. So, for decades, they weren't really considered legal, but they've never been fully hidden. Because like I said, they've had office buildings with nameplates. They have business cards for their higher ups. They're known for having public leadership in areas, so, they're involved. And I guess if, everything about your business, it includes the community you're in, then you kind of need to be involved. But since the 1990s, Japan has passed strict anti-organized crime laws. So now, banks can refuse service to known members. Businesses can be penalized for working with them. And even renting apartments to them knowingly can cause problems. So since the 90s, membership has dropped significantly. But the thing about it is, I don't think it's so much there as that they've just become less visible and moved into like cyber crimes and stuff, so they're not out beating up people and extorting money. They're just sitting behind the scenes. You heard the statement about, this some kid in his, parents' basement, stealing information. Yeah, it could easily be, Japanese gangs.
Like Down Bad just said, it sounds like they probably infiltrated the mixed martial arts scene. They probably infiltrated all kinds of legit businesses like that, and have just taken up more of the mafia mindset of it, I'd imagine.
Yep.
It's funny you say that, Down Bad. I was about to bring that up. So I found out, whenever I found out that Fukushima, you remember the meltdown of that nuclear plant in 2011 or whenever that was?
Yep.
So it turns out that the CIA had a hand in building that nuclear plant.
I'm shocked.
Right.
And the conspiracy is that they built it so that it would fail under a catastrophic event. And depending on how conspiratorial you want to get, there's allegations that there exists devices that can cause earthquakes.
Yeah.
So they may have been the problem and the solution, if you want to call it a solution.
Well, I mean, Tesla developed the earthquake machine back then, back in the early 1900s. So if he had it back then you know they got it now.
But some people who are listening may be green to the notion of earthquake devices.
I don't even think it's a rumor Tesla had the earthquake machine, because the law got called to the apartment building where he was at, because it was like he was throwing down a rave or something and it was shaking the block.
Mm-hmm. You know, it's funny. And this, I mean, of course, this is, you know, a writer writing fiction, but he does it very well. Jonathan Mayberry has a set of books, and it's a set of 3. I cannot remember the name of them, but I mean, I read them back to back to back. But
Really?
The premise was that, okay, Fukushima, Chernobyl, 3 Mile Island, that all of those meltdowns were the government trying to open wormholes and failing.
Okay.
And then they finally get one that partially works, and it lets all kinds of insane shit from other dimensions into ours.
Did you say that this? Okay, you said it was a book that somebody.
It's a set of books. It's a set of books by Jonathan Mayberry, and but like I said, I mean, just the way he plays it down. Yeah, fiction. That's kind of where I was going with it, because, like I said, you know, these 3 places, you know, shouldn't have ever melted down, you know, but what were they actually doing? So.
We haven't started talking about her yet, buddy. Thank you for joining us, Larry.
Y'all are terrible. Yeah. I actually did mail you a dildo, Tully.
Cecil pull. I'm not going to start naming names, but Cecil's got them on deck.
This will be a good time, since we're talking about that, to bring up that you can still purchase Tully Stong for not $100 on the website right here. You got to cut a hole in the back before it works properly.
Bro, that's the fanny pack. I didn't know what you were talking about.
Oh, is that what that is? I've been Stong this whole time.
I mean, it can be. Just don't wear underwear. You can replace your underwear with the fanny pack.
And we got hats, we got shirts, we got bags, we got a sweet ass bumper sticker. Go get the bumper sticker. We got this coffee mug. Now, if you're a serious coffee drinker, this might not be for you unless you want to fill up a lot. But
those are teacups.
Yeah, it looks dope though. It looks cool. We got hoodies.
I've got teacups that are bigger.
Yeah.
Really?
I do.
So you can get there by going to linktree.com/wearingthefolk. And it's right here at the top, exclusive merch. So anyway,
so that's all I've got on the Yakuza.
What's that girl's name? The Lily Blue Eyes or something like that?
I'm not saying nothing.
I don't know her name.
I'm not saying nothing. Larry, look what you've done.
He's opened up a can of worms. I gotta look it up now. It's something Blue Eyes.
Stop, dude. This is not a rabbit hole we're about to go down.
Yeah, it's your turn, Tully.
So Cecil wanted to bring up the Thuggies.
Yeah.
So this was a gang in India, and this gang reigned from the 1200s all the way through the 1800s. So this gang had like a 600-year reign in India, and they operated as roving bands who infiltrated traveler caravans, gaining trust before strangling victims with a cloth noose known as a rumel in a ritual dedicated to the goddess Kali, or Kali. I don't know how to say that. So this gang was estimated to have killed tens of thousands to over 1 million people over the centuries through robbery disguised as religious sacrifice. and British colonial authorities eventually dismantled them in the 1830s after massive suppression campaigns.
Bonnie Blue Eyes. Sorry.
Bro,
It just hit me. I'm sorry. Go for it. Thuggies.
yeah, down bad. Cecil's down bad, actually. But yeah, they were like legit. They could have killed over 1 million people. That's a pretty big. That means they've changed the course of history. Like how Genghis Khan reduced the carbon emission on the earth. He killed so many people. I'm sure that this gang has had an impact on the environment as well.
Oh, you know they did.
But sorry.
The Thuggies was a very popular one. There's a lot more information about them. I had some information about them. Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna. Down Bad was saying that he mentioned the assassins cult, and there was an order of assassins in Persia and Syria known as the Hashashin.
Hashashin.
And that was in the year 1000 to 1200, I think. But they were straight up crazy.
Yep.
It says that. Do you have something on them?
No, I remember reading about them a few years ago, though.
I was going to let you take it, but it was a secretive Naziri Ismaili Shia sect founded by Hassan-e-Saba, masters of stealth assassination who infiltrated courts and used daggers for high-profile political killings to protect their mountain fortresses. Legendary, though disputed, use of hashish for visions and unbreakable loyalty. Their tactics inspired the English word assassin and terrified leaders across the Crusades era until the Mongol invasions destroyed their strongholds.
Mm-hmm. That's when I came across them. It was back when I was researching the Crusades, the Templars and stuff, because they were very widely known back then.
So they straight up got mogged by Genghis Khan.
Mm-hmm.
Like they got took out by Genghis Khan. That's crazy.
You have to wonder too. It just the slightest little thing that could be different, all because in this case Genghis Khan came along and took out the assassins. What if he had never come along?
Oh, yeah, they
first,
may be.
The earth would have been way overpopulated way sooner. But two, they could have been a huge network. I mean, that could be the thing. Instead of the military, you'd join the assassins.
Yeah.
One of the main things about them now, though, that I had some information on was whenever their main central belief was in Kali and to maintain a cosmic balance through a ritual killing.
Yes.
The way they did things was kind of wild. Like the method of murder that they always use, they would befriend people on long roads. They would gain their trust for days, weeks at a time, and then waiting for the perfect moments when they would strike, usually at nighttime. They strangle them, simple claws, scars, whatever it may be.
You're booping.
Boop. Yeah, that's my phone popping off.
Hey,
Lander. Hey,
I actually had a dog named Kali.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't derail us like Larry, Landa. Cecil's been talking about gangbangs for 15 minutes.
But yeah, the Thuggies were one of the biggest ones in history and had one of the longer reigns for sure. Yeah. The Thuggies were a good one. You could go on for a full hour or two, probably longer, about the Thuggies because they did run so long.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're a long running one. But the Brits came in and cracked down on them, so
that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. I guess any gang, well, maybe not the cartels. I feel like the cartels are probably the closest thing to a civilization, a standalone civilization that we've ever had on Earth. They may be able to fight Genghis Khan. I don't know. They may have the numbers to be able to stand up to Genghis Khan, is what I'm saying.
Right. I think the biggest difference with them is
I didn't know what you meant, Linda.
Is the fact that if you took those people and put them back there, they would be at an extreme disadvantage because they all came up during modern weaponry and stuff like that.
True.
Which is the same thing. If you pulled in Genghis Khan to that generation, they would be at an extreme disadvantage because they don't have anything with modern.
If Genghis Khan would have sailed the seas, this would be Genghis Khan land. Like
yes, it would.
From Canada to the tip of South America.
Yes.
Would all be Genghis Khan land. So I don't know. Well, and that gets into Tartaria theory as well, like with the slits on the Great Wall being pointed inwards. So we could definitely tip off into conspiracy land on that.
Well, I mean, Genghis Khan was a giant. So
you think so?
I think so. I think he was definitely a Tartarian giant of some sort. There's drawings of him being a redheaded person.
Well, do you know if the drawings have him having 6 fingers?
I can't remember. I have to go in there and look in my books.
The traditional giants had 6 fingers and 6 toes on each hand.
Yeah, that's probably why Ray's so strong, like so strong. Yeah.
So roughly 0.5% of the world's male population, or about 16 million men, are direct descendants of Genghis Khan.
He was
one in every 200 men alive today can trace back their genetics to Genghis Khan.
You know, well, and there's the whole spookiness around his burial space too, where they had the funeral and then killed everybody that was involved so that you couldn't find him. And they say that whenever you find him, it's going to be the end of the world.
Yes, I've heard that too. And here's the thing, though. Okay, the way they get that 1 in 200 is a very specific Y chromosome haplogroup. That's not counting the people that are, because that's passed down from father to son. So that's not counting any female direct descendants.
Got you.
You know, so that's crazy. I knew he was prolific.
Maybe one of the biggest in history. Maybe more than the female that Cecil mentioned.
Yeah,
maybe, maybe.
He was part of the result of the mini ice age. I'm trying to find something on the Mercury. I can't find anything. So
down bad. I was going to ask, like, what were they doing with the Mercury? I haven't heard that.
We probably will end up doing a Genghis Khan episode eventually. So
can I spell it that way?
Yeah, Genghis Khan. But you can email us at witf@gmx.com some information on that, because I'd like to look into that. I want to know why Mercury.
I'll be back in a second.
Where are you going?
Gotta go.
I think he's going to go pay. He's going to go visit the cycle fairy. But yeah, I mean, that was I don't know where I was going with that. But have you heard of the Barbary Corsairs?
I have heard of them. I don't know a ton about them, but I know once upon a time, back a long time ago, when I really read a lot of historical romance novels, I read a lot about the Barbary pirates.
Yeah, that's what they are. They were pirates. The Barbary Corsairs were state-backed pirates operating from North Africa, mainly in Algiers, Tunis, and Tripoli. From the 1500s to the early 1800s, they had a pretty solid run too. They were not just random pirates. They were often sanctioned by the Ottoman Empire, making them more of a naval mercenaries. For corsairs like Haridin Barbosa blurred the line between pirate and admiral. So what were they about, you may ask? They raided Europe's ships and coastal towns, captured people for ransom or slavery, forced nations to pay tribute to avoid attacks. So I wonder if that's one of the earliest sentences of, hey, pay us to protect you from us. You know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely.
Now,
I honestly believe that.
That's probably true. Now, they had some pretty 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 big crimes. The mass enslavement of Europeans was one.
Mhm.
They didn't just rob ships, they harvested people. Coastal raids would happen at night. When ships would silently approach, men would storm villages. By sunrise, entire communities were gone. Historians estimate 1 to 1.25 million Europeans were enslaved between the 1500s and 1800s. Victims were sold into slave markets in Algiers, held for ransom. Family or governments had to pay a fee for them. They were forced into labor, rolling war galleries, construction, and domestic servitude. Some captives spent decades in bondage if they survived at all. So that's pretty crazy. That had to have a pretty big impact on, the way that things went and all that good
Mhm.
jazz.
Yeah.
They even raided like Ireland and Iceland. They wasn't just in the Mediterranean. In 1627, they raided Iceland, what's known as the Turkish abductions. Hundreds were kidnapped and transported across continents into slavery. That's crazy. They just kind of went everywhere. That's kind of
Yeah.
what Tully was saying. Like if Genghis Khan had a naval fleet,
Hmm.
really.
Yeah.
Uh,
They just didn't have the numbers that Khan had. Otherwise, yeah, it could have easily been, because I think there was kind of a gray line too between like pirates and privateers.
oh, yeah.
Privateers did the same crap. They just had the backing of governments. As long as they didn't attack the government that was backing them ships, then everything else was free range, So, like I said, I'm England. I'm paying you. Don't attack English ships, but you can attack French ships and German ships and all that stuff.
I would like to have been a pirate.
You'd have made a good pirate.
I think I would have made an awesome pirate.
Mhm.
I would have been fun at it. I like boats. I've got a boat out in the yard. It's basically a huge paperweight, though. Totally gives me trash about keeping stuff like that.
I'm married to one of those people, so I get it.
I'm going to work on it. I'm going to work on it one day.
I might need that one day. That's the one I hear. I might need that one day. It's been sitting in that same spot for 18 years. No, you do not need that.
If
But if I throw it away.
If anybody's listening and wants a free 2004 Chevy Impala, get up with me. You can have the damn thing. I need to have my garage. I've tried to give it away twice, and two people said, I'm coming to get it, and they just never did. But let's see. That's all I got about the Barberries.
Okay.
I know there's a lot more about it. But
all right. Well, I'm going to talk about the Molly Maguires.
Molly McGuire, that was a Disney Channel show.
I think you're maybe merging two different ones.
That girl's on General
Hospital. So the Molly Maguires, they're kind of in a gray area because there's gang there, there's secret society there, and they really kind of got their start as almost like a working class resistance. It's like all that stuff kind of blurs together. And it probably depends on who you ask. They were either, ruthless assassins or desperate men pushed to a breaking point. So the name actually starts in Ireland, where the Molly Maguires is referred to as a secret agrarian group fighting against landlords, often violently. So when Irish immigrants flooded into Pennsylvania's coal region in the 1800s, they brought the name and the spirit and the reputation and everything with them. So in America, they became tied to the bad coal mining, at the time. They were working 12, 16 hours a day in dangerous conditions. There were constant cave-ins and explosion, black lung, and then they got just ridiculously low wages, and it was pretty much all totally controlled by the mine owners. And these weren't just bad jobs. I mean, they were life-shortening jobs. So while they weren't really an official organization, it was almost like a hidden, group within the mining community. But it also kind of overlapped with the Irish fraternal group called the Ancient Order of the Hibernians. So it's the overlap that kind of, is what confuses people, because some say that they used the Ancient Order of the Hibernians as a cover, and then others say that they got blamed because of that they weren't doing everything they were accused of. But anyway, they were still very secretive. They had hidden meetings, and they protected everybody's identity. And if you crossed a line, then there were repercussions. So during the 1860s and 70s, there were all of these acts that took place in Pennsylvania's coal country. Mine bosses started getting assassinated. Foremen were threatened or killed. They started destroying properties, and they were blamed for a lot of these. But the thing is, nobody actually knows how organized it actually was, because they were so secretive. Some people think it might have been a coordinated campaign of revenge, and others said that, it was kind of scattered acts by different individuals. And later they all just kind of got lumped together and labeled the Molly Maguires to justify a big government crackdown on them. So then the Pinkertons entered into it.
Yeah.
So the mine owners didn't call the police. They brought in the Pinkerton National Detective Agency. So they sent an undercover agent named James McParlin into the coal fields. So for years, he lived among the miners. He gained their trust. He infiltrated their circles, and then he turned around and testified against them. And it was his testimony that would ultimately bring them down. So in the 1870s, a series of trials led to the convictions of people that they considered the Molly Maguires. So the trials themselves were heavily influenced by corporate-backed prosecution, Pinkerton's testimony, and judges with ties to the coal industry. So the more things change, the more they stay the same, because we see the same thing happening today. It's, who's paying off who.
Yeah.
So in 1877, in an incident known as the Day of the Rope, 20 men that were allegedly part of the Molly Maguires were hung. So, it's again, you've got one version of, they're this gang that's got, secrets, and they're oath bound, and they've got all these coordinated killings, and it's, early, like, organized labor and like the mob and stuff. But then you've got the other side of that. These were immigrant workers who were fighting exploitation. And then, they have all of this money and all of these people, against them, and how much of it was actually fair, nobody knows. I mean, like I said, it was such a well hidden group that there's just not a lot known of them outside of, the main things. So
that's wild. Looks like we got Steven chilling in the back here. Let's bring him.
I wasn't going to expose him.
Why not?
Hey,
Because it
Steven.
doesn't look like he's ready.
Oh, hey, what's up, Steven? He was just waiting for us.
Just call me out then.
Well,
Oh, man.
oh, Mr. Hill.
It's a good thing you didn't have your underwear down, Stephen.
I'm not even wearing it.
Or someone would have just been like, "Oh, he's ready."
But yeah, the Pinkertons were the early FBI. That's right. I've played enough Red Dead and Red Dead 2 to know that. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty cool. So that was the coal mines, I guess, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Back when there were literally no regulations or rules, and back then, because they were sending kids down in there and stuff, I mean, so like I said, it stands to reason if you've got, employers that are not taking care of their people, they're not paying their people, and that's the only game in town. If you want to make a living, eventually people get pissed off.
Yeah.
We need more of that today.
Yeah. Oh.
Bad. I don't know if we don't have any or many regular listeners from Twitch, but if you're interested, I'll make you a mod. You just let me know. You can be. We got a Kick mod, but we don't have a Twitch mod. So if this kind of conspiratorial, worldly stuff interests you enough to come back, I'll make you a mod.
But I mean, the coal mines, they were pretty rough. I mean, think about Bloody Harlan and even Harlan County, USA.
Yep.
that stuff was wild. I do like watching Harlan County, USA, and I like driving over there and trying to match stuff. Have you ever done that, Totally? You went to Harlan County a lot, but
I've been to Harlan a ton. Yeah.
yeah. Did you ever try to match stuff from Harlan County, USA, or have you ever watched that?
I need to watch that actually. I've seen clips like on TikTok and short form and stuff, but
Yeah.
that's about it for me.
I've got it. I own it.
Okay. But give
You
it
can
to me.
borrow it. You can borrow,
Okay.
borrow it. You ain't giving you that.
Yeah.
After everything I've done for you.
That's one of my favorite movies. I'll give you Wolf of Snow Mountain. Wolf of Snow Mountain.
Somebody was talking about that the other day. It may have been Alan.
Wolf of Snow Mountain.
Oh man,
That's a good one.
It was Holler.
Oh well, Wolf of Snow Hollow. I like that movie. You hated it for some reason. I don't know why.
It was awful.
I loved it. It was a good werewolf
Really?
movie.
yeah, the coal
Well,
mines.
Yeah. Oh,
I just add to that. My grandfather had a brother named Ralph. He survived a coal mine accident or cave in, whatever it might have been, but he had trouble walking the rest of his life after that.
Mhm.
He did get some kind of a small settlement, So that would have been in the early 1900s. He was a young man when it happened to him.
yeah, the mines are dangerous. All my uncles and my grandpa, they all worked in mines. It's some dangerous stuff. It's a place I
Yeah.
never wanted to go. I'm claustrophobic though.
Yeah. Ralph got crippled up in the coal mines. My grandpa made whiskey. So
It was similar with my family. There was 3 or 4 of my grandma's brothers that went to prison for moonshining.
Moonshine.
I must have scared down bad off with the mod.
Nah.
We need a Twitch mod down bad.
You come on pretty strong sometimes.
I'm gonna take you and I'm gonna make you a mod.
Yeah, we need to marry you into the program here.
But anyway, what's the next gang that we got, gang?
So, okay, I've got one that, okay, it's a little off from violent gangs, but they got pigeonholed as a gang.
Pigeonhole?
The Pink Panthers.
Oh, sweet.
So first, okay, this is
Okay.
not
Do you think it's a CIA op or no?
who the Pink Panthers.
Oh, never mind. Wrong Panthers.
Oh no.
Wrong Panthers.
This one.
False alarm.
Okay, first off, this is not a traditional gang. Okay, they are a loose network of elite jewel thieves.
Okay.
Okay,
oh,
no tattoos, no initiation roles, no obvious hierarchy, but more like freelance professionals with like just shared interests. So most of the members are believed to be from the Balkans, particularly countries that came out of the breakup from Yugoslavia. And many reportedly had military or paramilitary backgrounds, which explains why there's so much discipline and precision. And so, yep, the name came straight from the movie The Pink Panthers because, all right, there was a heist where a stolen diamond was hidden inside a jar of face cream.
Nice.
And it's really similar to a scene from the Pink Panther movie.
Okay.
So the investigators saw the resemblance and basically said, yeah, we're going to call them that. And it stuck. So these guys don't work in the shadows. They hit in broad daylight. And their typical job is they walk into a high-end jewelry store, Paris, Dubai, Monaco, Tokyo. There's no place off limits. They have hit places all over the world. They smash display cases with hammers, grab millions in diamonds and watches, and they are gone in under 60 seconds. No standoffs, no drawn-out planning on site. It's almost like surgical chaos. So one of their most famous tactics is using high-end cars to ram storefronts. And they'll disguise themselves ranging from a construction worker to well-dressed tourists. And it's because they never know where they're going to hit that makes them so efficient. They've had over 100 major heists, dozens of countries, hundreds of millions in stolen goods. And they just go where the money is. Doesn't matter. Borders don't matter. But what makes them different is that most gangs rely on fear, territory, numbers. The Pink Panthers rely on precision, planning, and timing. And, they're not trying to control neighborhoods or build empires, but they are after clean, high-value scores. No unnecessary violence. But because, and the reason that they get compared to a gang is because of the belief that the core members are paramilitary. Because, they show experience with weapons and tactics. They are comfortable working under pressure. And the coordination, it's like they work as a unit. And that takes discipline, battlefield discipline. And then you apply all of that to stealing diamonds in under a minute. And here's a detail most people miss, though, is they don't sit on, piles of diamonds. The stolen jewels are often quickly broken down, recut to remove identifying features, and then sold through underground networks. And once that happens, then you can't trace it. Yeah. And the thing is, even when a member is occasionally arrested, nothing stops because there's no central leadership. There are all the cells operate independently, and they can just grab new people as they need them. So it's almost like shutting down a concept instead of a gang in your traditional sense.
Yeah.
And, I think that's kind of cool. I kind of hate, that, you shouldn't be stealing. I'm sorry. There are enough people out there that are stealing from you legally. At least they're stealing from people that have something, they can afford. But anyway, so yes, like I said, not your typical violent gang, but just they do work with the precision that a lot of gangs don't have.
Yeah, there's a lot of cohesion to that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Did they ever figure out who robbed the Louvre last year?
No.
Did they not?
No, I don't think so.
No. Not that
or who blew up the Godstones.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking about that earlier today.
Yeah.
Because a list came up and said, "Oh, these amazing places in the U.S. and the Godstones are on there." I'm like, "Yeah, this is dated."
And then they acted like they couldn't find the time capsule.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They arrested 9 people for it, suspected people. I don't think anybody's actually been charged with it.
No.
Wait, 2 were charged before magistrate. They don't have any names. That's weird. Do you think?
Yeah, it is.
Recovered items either. Huh.
Yeah. Almost make you think that they took it down because too many people started paying attention.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. That
Yeah,
definitely makes sense.
I was wanting to hit some South American stuff, but you know what? I think we need to do a whole other episode on cartels versus gangs.
Oh yeah.
I don't think you're wrong. I think the cartel is its own thing.
There's so much. Like there's as much or more cartel history as there are gang history.
Oh yeah. A lot of it.
Yep. So
don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you, Landa. And follow. And plead your allegiance.
Pledge your allegiance. Yes. We're beating people in tonight.
All right. What's the next gang we got?
One of y'all, or because I've got another one, but I just went on and on about Pink Panthers.
Well, this is cartel adjacent, but technically, MS-13 was founded in the United States.
Was it
really? I thought that was South American or Central American.
Yeah. Now the people involved are typically from El Salvador, but it was formed by Salvadorian immigrants to the United States. They became transnational with a reputation for machete attacks, dismemberment, and no mercy violence against rivals or defectors. I think they had to start out in a world of that's dominated by like Bloods and Crips. Because they started in the 80s. They have extreme initiation rituals. and territorial control through rape, murder, and extortion. And obviously, our leaders over the years have used them as like a poster child for cartel violence. However,
they're not cartel related, really.
Again, they originated in Los Angeles in the 1980s.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about them recently, over recent years.
Here's why there's confusion, because they spread. So imagine this: the virus started in Los Angeles, and they started deporting these people back to El Salvador. So El Salvador caught that virus, and then they dominated El Salvador, and then they come back to America. So it's like the virus started in LA with gang on gang violence, and then it got spread to El Salvador through deportations.
So we made it worse, is what you're saying.
We created it in El Salvador.
Yep. And I mean, like I said, and I'm not making jokes about gang violence. I mean, but like I said, if you could stop something while it's in its infancy, instead of spreading it.
The initiation's crazy for this, though. So new recruits, often teens, have to endure a vicious 13-second beating by multiple members, or transido, which is gang rape, by at least 13 members. It's crazy.
Yesterday.
That's in tandem with they all have to commit a violent crime of murder, also called getting wet, to prove loyalty.
And the sad part about it is, like I said, they're grabbing kids that usually are already in bad situations and don't have any recourse, would never want to voluntarily be a part of that lifestyle given an option, but they don't always have an option.
But I'll tell you, El Salvador has managed to do something for themselves in that regard that we have not been able to, which is get their control back.
Yeah.
Yes.
And actually, I know we've watched some of this video. I won't play the audio, but I will pull up the video just so you can see what their prisons look like. And it's through fear of these prisons that has begun to actually make a difference in their gang violence. So people who go to this prison, they have to be, without a shadow of a doubt, usually hitmen. So they're guilty of murder or worse. And they've confirmed to be in gangs is another criteria for El Salvador's prison.
I'm going to jump in for 1 second before it moves. That kid looks 12.
Yeah. And they could be like, it's they use kids as hitmen because people don't suspect them. Yeah. So by the time they get to 18 or something like that, they could be in the double digits or more on murders. But they're not allowed to look at prison guards. They don't get TVs. They don't even get mattresses, I don't think. They get maybe little mats, no pillows.
Well, prison, especially for violent offenders, should not be a country club. That to me is, I've always had an issue with, if you have nothing to do but sit around and watch TV all day, why would you want to leave that if you're being, and I'm also a firm proponent in no private prisons, because, you have to have a product to make a profit. And, but like I said, when you're talking about violent gang members and stuff like that, they shouldn't, have it made. I'm sorry. That's the kind of prisons we need for that type of criminal. Because once a person has crossed a certain line, I firmly believe that you can't come back from it.
Yeah.
You know, you
Yeah.
just
And I
can't-
mean, this is what it takes. Like, if you had this, people would actually be afraid to go to prison.
yes.
Yeah.
And I don't think people are scared enough to go to prison at the moment because they can have TVs and Xboxes
Really?
and meals.
Cell
Yeah.
phones.
Cell phones.
3
If-
squares a day too?
And I'm not saying that everybody deserves to be in a prison like that, but if
No,
you're
no,
a
no, no,
violent
no.
offender, like you killed somebody without a shadow of a doubt, that's another
Yes.
thing. For somebody to go one of these prisons, it should be a unanimous jury agreement. There can't be one
Yes,
person.
Landa, get married. I know for a fact, I know someone personally that was married in prison 6 times, had life in prison with no possibility of parole, was married 6 times. And I want to know what woman walks into a prison to visit her loved one and meets a freaking pedophile and says, he's marriage material. Hell yeah, I'll marry you.
People are just sycophants for that stuff.
Yeah. Serial killers, man.
It's like fetishes. Like,
Yeah.
It feels like serial
It is.
killers a lot. Like serial killers get fan letters and shit. Yeah.
Just
I get the fascination with things like that, but
I'm
I mean,
fascinated by serial killers, but I don't want to marry one.
no.
You know, I don't
No.
want to hang out with them, and I don't want to be their pen pal either. You know, I mean,
No.
listen, nothing about me can wrap my head around these people. But yes, they do fascinate me because my brain wants to figure out the whys and the hows and all that. You know, I'm apt to tell you what they did wrong while watching a serial killer documentary and what got them caught, because I've watched that much Law and Order over the years.
Did you all ever have a pen pal when you were a kid?
Yes.
I'm sorry, Mom.
No,
Yeah.
Yes.
That was a cool thing back in the day, wasn't it? Like you had to
Mhm.
write a letter and send it to somebody and wait for them to
Yep.
send something back.
Our entire, you know, I can remember our entire class in grade school having, you know, okay, here's your pen pal. But it's a boy. It doesn't matter. It's a pen pal. You have to write them.
I had
know?
a pen pal in Sweden.
Uh-huh.
Sweden, a Swedish pen
Really?
pal.
Yep.
I was supposed to have a pen pal, but I wasn't much of a pen pal.
I had conversations with that person a lot.
I like that. I can get behind that. Totally get behind that.
Yeah.
that's potential. That'd potentially be like using white phosphorus. If you just let loose a bunch of pedophiles and serial killers in a country, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah.
That'd be like crimes against humanity.
Right.
Are we
Yeah.
considering mafias gangs?
Sure.
Okay.
Organized crime counts as a gang.
I thought we were
Raise
going to
it.
wait and do a standalone on mafia and the mob.
This mafia is a little different.
We can.
Okay.
This
See
one
something.
comes from the rolling hills of Kentucky.
Okay.
Well, yeah, we should do like we could do an Amish mafia. There's the Italian mafia. There's actually a Jewish mafia as well.
Mhm.
That's lesser known, but there's like a lot of organized crimes around the world that all have like mafia-esque, especially like the Amish mafia. That's crazy.
Yes,
So you-
yes,
Oh,
it
yeah.
is.
You want me to save this
Irish.
mafia for that episode?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
you
we
know,
could-
it's either way.
We could we'll do a cartel episode and a mafia episode.
I'll save
See,
this.
I almost consider the cartel and the mafia the same group.
We'd never get through it all.
No, we wouldn't.
No.
We wouldn't.
No, we
You're
wouldn't.
right.
Not in 2 hours. If we
Yeah.
had 5, maybe.
That's going to be a Saturday night long show. How about that? So, how about the numbers gangs? Have you heard of them?
Mm-mm.
No.
Okay. So, the numbers games, everything runs around 3 numbers, 26, 27, and 28. But now, it's not just a gang, but they exist entirely inside a prison. So the 26s are the bloodline of money. They handle theft, smuggling, and acquiring resources. They're like the economic arm. The 27s are the law. They're the enforcers, judges, discipline. If rules are broken, the 27s decide what happens. And then the 28s, which is the army. and they're the most complex group. They're tied to hierarchy, protection, and internal structure, and then they'll split off into subgroups with different roles. And it's not just a label. They literally define your entire existence inside of prison. So all of it traces back to a legend. According to gang mythology, everything began with a figure named Nongoloza Mathabula in the late 1800s. So the story goes that he led a band of outlaws resisting colonial rule, and they're from North Africa. They developed strict laws and codes, and a betrayal split the group into the three numbers. So whether or not it's historically accurate, but inside prison, that is treated as a foundational truth. It is almost like scripture to these gang members, and said that the rules are so strict that they almost feel religious. So they operate on an intense code. You don't just join, you're initiated, often through violence. You must memorize long oral histories and rules, and speaking incorrectly about the gang's lore will get you punished. So there's even specialized vocabulary, almost like a language within a language, that anybody from the outside would not understand. So it's not a casual affiliation. This is a total immersion into this lifestyle. So ranks exist within each number, and movement up the hierarchy requires acts of loyalty, acts of violence, and absolute obedience. Members may carry scars and tattoos marking their number and status, but the real identity is behavioral, because how you act, how you speak, and how you respond under pressure is how you are treated and judged. So, why, so to understand the numbers gangs, and it's South African. So it's the environment is a lot of it. Because South African prisons are often overcrowded, under-resourced, and violent. And in that kind of space, the gangs provide protection, structure, and identity. So without them, a lot of the inmates would be completely vulnerable. So you pick a side, you pick the lesser of evils, and it's almost like a survival system. So the 28s are kind of where things get a little bit complicated, because they're the most talked about because of their internal divisions. There is a gold line, which is tied to the leadership and the order. And then there's the silver line, which is tied more to the volatile roles. So their structure governs relationships, powers, aspects of daily life. And people from the outside either misunderstand them or they kind of oversimplify it. But the thing is, you can't just leave, because even after you're released from prison, you're still tied to that number. That loyalty doesn't disappear. Rivalries continue outside of prison, and the identity sticks. So, it's a lifetime role that you were assigned to while under one of the most extremely pressure-sensitive times in your life. So while a lot of gangs in the outside world fight over territory and money and influence, the numbers gang exist in a place where there is no territory beyond the walls. There's no escape from your environment, and everything is entirely internal.
Oh,
So,
wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Yeah.
unique.
It's more like a
I could see- I
civilization.
could see for prison, that would be. I can see why people would want to join. Especially if they were. If there was somebody else who might be a threat to them. I mean, there's strength in numbers. So
There definitely is. And, a lot of times with prison, and like I said, a lot of, you see a lot of stuff on TV and movies and things like that. And while that can give you a general idea, it's either going to be one extreme or not nearly extreme enough, because you're like, oh, okay, that happens in prison. But then you talk to somebody who's actually been in prison. They're like, yeah, that's bullshit. That's not how that works.
Yeah.
But, there is a lot of division inside of prison groups and gangs, because like I said, if you don't have protection, you can be beaten, you can be raped, you can be killed. I mean,
That's
there are
kind
so
of
many
mafia-esque.
things.
It's like you bust into somebody's room, it's like, hey, you're going to need protection.
Yes.
And the ones
yes.
dealing the beatings if you don't pay them or whatever, like that kind of deal.
Yep.
yeah.
Yep, exactly. So, like I said, I mean, I understand why that would be desirable. Maybe that's not the exact right words, but you need somewhere to belong, and even though it may not be a perfect situation, it's better than the alternative.
Right.
Yeah.
Tullification. Are you on YouTube?
Huh?
Are you on
Who's
YouTube?
Tullification?
Oh, that's me.
Oh, okay.
I didn't want to interrupt. I didn't remember what Larry was talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, Larry, that's not a stranger. That's me. I didn't know what you meant that you had what in elementary school.
He had a
Oh,
pen
it's pen
pal.
pal, dude. Pen
Oh, okay. I didn't connect the dots.
That's okay. That's all right.
Yeah.
So, who else?
I
you
got the Green Gang.
The
You ever
what?
heard
What?
of the Green Gang. You ever
I
hear
don't
of
know
them?
that.
No.
Well, they rose to prominence in the 19th and early 20th century in Shanghai. Originally tied to river transport and labor unions, they evolved into one of the most powerful crime syndicates in China. So, what were they about? Opium trafficking, gambling and prostitution, and political manipulation. I'm glad
Sounds
that
like,
ended. I'm glad that 20th century. They had deep ties to Chiang Kai-shek, and the nationalist government. They had some notable crimes too. I've got some of them pulled up here. Let me see if I can find them. Let's see. The Green Gang. So their opium empire was huge, apparently. The Green Gang essentially controlled addiction at scale in Shanghai. They imported, distributed, and profited from the opium, of course. Entire neighborhoods were dependent back then. So you've seen movies where like people go to these little opium dens and stuff and
Mhm.
get wrecked from back then.
Get wrecked.
Addiction weakened the population while enriching the gang. This wasn't just crime, it was economic domination through drugs. So that's, I wonder if that might be one of the earlier drug syndicates. I wonder.
Yeah.
Yeah, because opium dens were a big thing in the 1800s.
Yeah. See, and prior to that, that's where Great Britain made a lot of money by selling opium to China. At one time, China accepted opium as just, okay, this is okay.
They did to them what the CIA did with crack.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. And then I can't remember which emperor it was, but he banned opium. So the fact that you would have a Chinese people who were then taking the opium and they're making money off of it instead of Great Britain, that would make sense.
Mhm.
One of their biggest crimes was something called the Shanghai Massacre in 1927. Working with the Chiang Kai-shek, the Green Gang helped carry out the Shanghai Massacre. Thousands of suspected communists were rounded up. Most were executed in the streets while being rounded up, and others just simply disappeared. So these were people that they seen as political rivals and things like that.
Mhm.
Where does that happen? Where does that, where does that happen?
It's really hard to find out. I mean, I think most of this stuff died out, right?
Yeah, I'm glad.
Mhm.
I'm glad the world's much more peaceful these days.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I
But
don't
that's
know what we do.
I mean,
Yeah.
looking back on some of these gangs and things like that, you can really see the structure that they went with. Like, there's like, well, this gang was pretty successful, so maybe we should try that. Just
Yeah.
on a different level,
Yeah.
You know, the only difference between a gang and a secret society is public violence.
Yeah. Public violence, yes.
Public
Yeah.
violence. Yes.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh my God, there's Jenny.
Hey,
Hey,
Jimmy.
Jenny.
Hey, Jenny.
Roblox and UFOs. I like how you just roll on in. Roblox is horrible, man. I wish kids would get off Roblox. There's some insane
Well.
stuff going on there. And
I wish
yeah,
a UFO would come and take me away, but here we are.
he finished watching Begonia.
I know. It's on my list. I'm going to go back and watch it.
I forced Mandy to watch it, and by the time we was about halfway through it, I was like, she was falling asleep. She's like, pause it. I was like, wow. She's like, I want to finish.
Have you seen her, Landa? And you didn't even tell us? We're missing Crystal. We're missing Ronnie.
Yeah,
we're missing Jenny.
Yeah. But Begonia, good movie.
Yes, I like I said, I'm going to watch it, and I'm going to trust
What's it about?
you.
What's it about?
It's conspiracy theories.
Yeah,
that's why I started watching it. That's what I told Cecil. I'm like, I got 10 minutes in and said, okay, this is fucking stupid. And I put it on game night or something. He's like, no, you have to watch it.
It's got Jesse Plemons in it and Emma
Stone. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's why I watched it, because it's got people I like.
So
I misread that, and I thought Jenny said that she's been very busy defending his illegal gold mining.
But Begonia totally, and for everybody out there who's not heard about it, it's a conspiracy movie. Jesse Plemons plays a conspiracy theorist, and not to try not to give anything away, he believes that the aliens are here and they're experimenting on people. And Emma Stone is a CEO of a corporation, and he kidnaps her because he believes she's an alien. Then it goes from there. So you can.
Yep.
It's a good one.
I got through to the kidnapping and watched her beat the crap out of him, trying to, and I'm like, okay, I can't do this. So I'm going to go back and finish it.
Yeah, it gets good after that, though.
Okay. All right.
You're not rude, Jenny.
No, not at all.
No.
We've missed you in the chat.
Yes, we have.
Oh, we miss you a lot, Jenny.
All right, so I have one that I absolutely love this story. Okay, so in the heart of London, beneath the chandeliers and the polished glass, the most dangerous people in the room were not always men. They were women in silk dresses. They smiled politely.
Has that changed?
Yeah.
This gets better. So, they smile politely, they browse slowly, they ask questions, and they compliment fabrics and move into the quiet confidence of the people who belonged there. And all the while, they were stealing the place blind. They were known as the 40 Elephants, an all-female crime syndicate operating out of Elephant and Castle in London from the late 1800s to the early 20th century. And said, while other gangs fought in the streets, the Elephants built something way more refined. They were organized, they were strategic, and they were elegant. Their specialty was high-end shoplifting. And, that word really doesn't do justice to what they accomplished. They weren't just grabbing stuff quick, and they weren't being desperate. This was precision. They had dresses custom made with hidden compartments stitched into the lining, reinforced undergarments designed to carry weight without changing their silhouette. They had long coats and flowing skirts that concealed layers of stolen goods. They could walk into a luxury department store and walk out carrying thousands of dollars worth of merchandise completely unnoticed. And they didn't work alone. Each job was coordinated. Some members were there to distract the staff. They'd engage them in conversation and draw their attention to other parts of the stores while others were doing the lifting. They had lookouts, that would watch for watch to see if anything looked suspicious. But once they were out, the goods were funneled through an organized resale network. So this wasn't chaos. This was a system, So at the center of it all was Alice Diamond. She was known as Diamond Annie. She was stylish and sharp, and by most accounts, she was absolutely fearless. She helped turn the 40 Elephants into a disciplined, highly effective operation. There are stories that she wore diamond rings across her fingers and used them like brass knuckles if things got out of hand. Could be legend, but evidently there's always a kernel of truth when you hear those urban legends like that.
Well, that's why a lot of mob people wear rings.
Yes, absolutely. And and the thing about it is, what really made them dangerous wasn't just their coordination, it was their understanding of perception. because at the time, women weren't seen as serious criminal threats. So a well-dressed shopper in a store was trusted. The store employees were far less likely to question them and much less search them. Who would dare search an elegant lady, in an upper, that looked like she belonged? And so they leaned into it. They dressed impeccably. They carried themselves with confidence. They came in exactly where society expected them to be. They were respectable, fashionable women, and they used that as camouflage. They didn't just steal goods. They stole assumptions, and they lived the part. They wore the fashion they took. They would move through social spaces with the very wealthy, and there was this, line between customer and criminal that they completely blurred together. And they weren't isolated. They had ties to male gangs in London who would offer protection and help move the stolen goods, but it was their operation. But they took advantage where they could, and using these other gangs and stuff as an extension of who they were. So for decades they thrived. Retail was booming, security was minimal, and nobody thought to suspect women, of grabbing stuff. Eventually stores started adapting, policing improved, and the world became a little less trusting. But at one time they pulled off something extraordinary with no masks, no weapons, no violence, just confidence and pockets that nobody thought to check.
It sounds like government.
Well, yeah, Jenny said it best. She said Epstein style. That's why they use women for honeypot situations.
Yes.
And
Yes. Yeah.
I would say there's a good portion of our politicians who are married to informants for other countries. I don't think it's a mistake. Who some of them are married to, men and women.
Yes.
Yeah, very, very true. Yeah, the way that they would go about it, and they were undetected in what they were doing. I mean, to me, I can't disassociate that with government in the way that it works, because you have a certain part of the population, who's in charge, and they become fabulously wealthy while everyone else either stays the same or suffers.
Yes. Well, Cecil and I talked about this before we got started tonight, because it was a book I was reading. This guy was describing to somebody the difference in the levels of criminals and crime. You've got these on the lower end that are so minor and so minute that, it's not worth prosecuting. Then you've got this person up here on the top that's breaking laws left and right, but because of who they are and where they are, nothing is done. It's the people in between that get punished for it. So you've got this guy up here that, robbed, 100,000 elderly people out of their life savings that gets a slap on the wrist, but then you go steal a car and you get 10 years in jail.
Yes.
So like I said, it all comes down to who you are and who you've got backing you.
Yeah.
So.
Or the big company who pays $1 million fine on something, but they brought in billions, multi-billions of dollars.
That's it. Let's pay off, the people who died from opioids, because we made more than enough to cover the class action lawsuit. The last class action lawsuit I was in with a data breach, I got $40.
Nice.
Hey, that's better than the $3 I got from one prior to that. But I mean, like I said, and they always say, without admitting to guilt, they've agreed to pay this amount out. You do not pay people off if you're innocent. Full stop.
That's true.
No.
Absolutely true.
I mean, for the Epstein stuff, what's the best way to get them to quit talking about that, I wonder?
Yeah. Good question.
New war, false flags.
Aliens, you got to say it, Tully.
Aliens, yeah.
Aliens.
Shout out Soldier Boy. Actually, I'm going to find that clip. Hang on.
Aliens.
I'll play it in a minute.
Play it in a minute. Have you heard of the Paulo Moby? Moby? I always mispronounce it, but I think it's Moby.
Nope, I don't know that one.
Now this one right here, this one could be a full true crime segment. I think one of the podcasts I listened to did a full segment, like 2 or 3 episodes on them. So what they essentially were is a part of a broader spiritual system called Palo Malbi or Palo Monte. It kind of came from Central Africa, specifically the Congo region, but it was carried across the Atlantic during the slave trade, and it stayed in Central America. So the shift happened when this kind of became a gang. They started more like a cult in the 1980s with a man named Adolfo Constanzo. Constanzo wasn't just a practitioner; he was a full-blown manipulator. He took elements of Paulo Moby and twisted them into something else entirely. He built a following that mixed religion, fear, and drug trafficking. The drug trafficking aspects where they became more of a gang and less of a cult, because they kind of blend into both worlds. His group believed that ritual sacrifice, specifically human sacrifice, could grant them protection from law enforcement and supernatural powers. The belief wasn't traditional, it was cultural, it was controlled. In the 1989, authorities uncovered what his group had been doing at a ranch in northern Mexico. The discovery was brutal. Multiple victims, ritual elements, and evidence of systematic killing. The media quickly labeled them as a satanic occult. But, it's not what it was originally meant to be. There's no foundation tradition amongst this that supports human murder or anything like that. So the crimes that they committed, let's get to that, they did a bunch of kidnappings. Victims were often randomly targeted, locals, travelers, and even college students. The group would abduct people off roads from nightlife areas, especially near the Texas-Mexico border. Some victims were chosen specifically because Constanzo believed they had a strong spiritual energy. Let's see. And victims were killed in ceremony. Their bodies were often dismembered with parts used in rituals tied to Nagaga, a spiritual vessel. Constanzo told followers this would make them invisible to police and invincible. So the one spiritual killings, he told them would make them invisible and invincible. Let's see. So the drug trafficking is where they got the gang aspect from. The group wasn't just a cult, it was tied to the drug smuggling operation. And rituals were used kind of like a psychological control system over all the members, and violence reinforced loyalty, fear kept people from leaving. So that's a pretty crazy game because it crosses the boundary of death cult to gang. I think we should, when we do another episode, if we ever do another cult episode, we should dive into them real good.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Oh yeah.
Again, not a lot of difference between cults and secret societies and gangs and mafias and cartels, just where they're doing business pretty much.
That's it. There you
Or
go.
politicians.
Yeah. They're the biggest gang of all, Tully, because they've got the law behind them.
Well, maybe the biggest gang. Scientology is the biggest alien cult that exists today, though. For sure.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I got to show you this. This is why I say aliens all the time.
Aliens, man.
And
I hear you say it, but I've never known either.
Well, this is it.
Keep it gangster, man. Everybody out here talking about aliens and UFOs, this and UFO. Nigga, fuck them aliens. Oh, gang, nigga, till they come down here, nigga, give me a bag, put some money in my hand, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Pay my bills, nigga, stream some albums or something, nigga. I don't want to hear about no motherfucking aliens, bitch. You a motherfucking alien. Keep it gangster, man. Everybody out here.
What was the song?
Soldier Boy.
On Spider-Man or Superman.
Yeah, that's who made that song.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's the first rapper to diss aliens.
Aliens. I mean, fair. If they come here and try to take my land, I'll diss them too.
That's what I'm saying. Unless you're coming here and streaming my music, giving me some bands, I don't want to hear about no aliens.
But I'm out of gang material. I'm sure you guys got some more
I've
stuff.
got one. I've got one that I had never heard of. And there's a reason I've never heard of them. They're called the Ndrangheta.
Ndrangheta.
It's apostrophe Ndrangeta. So I had to go in and look up that pronunciation. So, the mafia tends to be kind of loud and cinematic, but they are quiet and patient and kind of more dangerous. So they don't chase attention, they avoid it. And that's exactly how they've become one of the most powerful criminal organizations on earth, while most people have barely heard of the name. So it is literally built on blood. So, a lot of crime groups, it's about loyalty and all that. This one is almost entirely structured around family bloodlines. Membership is typically inherited, not recruited. Clans called the Ndran are made up of relatives, brothers, cousins, uncles, and leadership passes through family ties. So, because your entire organization is built on blood, loyalty isn't enforced, it's assumed. Betrayal becomes far less likely, and infiltration is almost impossible. Because you're not just joining a gang, you're literally born into a criminal dynasty. So they originated in Calabria, the rugged mountainous toe of Italy, of course. For a long time, they were dismissed as just small-time rural criminals, but meanwhile, they were quietly building something massive. Today, it is believed that they control a huge portion of Europe's cocaine trade. They operate across dozens of countries, and they generate tens of billions annually. And they didn't grow through violence. They grew through patience and invisibility. So, they're not in the spotlight. So people don't really know that they exist because, the difference between them and like the Sicilians, because everybody knows who the Sicilian mafia is, they don't want attention. So they almost never have public assassinations. They have almost no media presence, and it's minimal branding. I mean, other groups became famous and therefore targeted, but they stayed in the background and just expanded. And they moved through construction, waste management, agriculture, and international logistics. They legitimately blended into the economies of the countries that they're in. So each family clan operates semi-independently, but they're all connected through the blood ties, marriage alliances, and shared rituals. And that's created a network that's decentralized, so it's hard to dismantle it, and they're deeply connected, so they're hard to break apart. So if you cut off one branch and the rest just keep functioning. So even though they're modern, they still hold on to ceremony and symbolism. They have secret initiation rituals. They have oaths referencing honor and family. They use coded language and traditions, but it's not theatrical like a lot of groups are, which means they tend to have a reinforced sense of identity and loyalty. And, a lot of criminal organizations fall apart when leaders are arrested and members flip and testify. But, the Ndrangheta, they don't have that problem because leaders, once they are arrested or whatever, are replaced by family members. The risk of most, and this, there is no definite guarantee, but the risk of someone betraying their own blood is way different than somebody who just happens to be part of the same gang. And the silence of the group is reinforced culturally, not through fear. So it's family pressure. It's not criminal pressure, so family pressure, we all know, is a hell of a lot stronger than outside pressures because most people deep down feel an obligation when it comes to family. And, while they started in Italy, they have been found operating in Germany, Canada, Australia, South America. Anywhere there's trade and opportunity, they adapt. And they don't generally look like criminals. They're business owners, they're import-export operators, they're investors, and that's what really makes them effective. So, you've got the flashy violent gangs and the ritualistic gangs, and then you've got this. Because like I said, I had never heard of them.
Everything's turning into a gang at this point.
Yeah.
Because I mean, really, if you're thinking about the big business owners in a city, they can totally operate like a gang to swing, city policy, ordinance, laws, money.
Mhm.
Money begets money is all I'm
Yes.
saying. Is like once you're to that point where you're a prominent figure of power in a society, at that point you are kind of part of a gang, just a
Mhm.
legal one at this point.
Yep. And that's the thing. Like I said, I mean, I firmly believe that
Jimmy,
anybody.
she's cracking me up.
Shoot.
Lord.
So I never mind. I'm not even gonna go there. That's a different rabbit hole entirely. You know who we didn't talk about are the triads.
Ooh.
I've been learning a lot of triads
Yeah,
musically.
yeah. Glad to hear it. So you're not going to go get dragon tattoos and stuff then?
No,
Okay.
no.
The triads are they tied into the Yakuza though, or am I thinking something?
Well, the triads were they're Chinese. They're not Japanese.
Okay, yeah.
The Yakuza are Japanese.
Yeah.
But the triads were originally formed to overthrow the Qing dynasty. But then, over time, they ended up being one of the most powerful organized crime networks in the world. So I guess they kind of fit more into the gangs, not the gangs, but the
Mafia.
the mafia type thing. Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
triad mafia.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean the triads, they're pretty violent. There's a lot of violent gangs out there. I mean, we
Yeah.
didn't even talk about the Crips or Bloods.
No.
You know what I mean? But there's just so much information about the Crips and Bloods too, and they're so engraved into pop culture and stuff at this point. I don't know. I'm sure.
So, what's the best thing everybody's ate in the last month? I ain't got to talk to you guys. We gotta get some food in before we dip out.
I mean, yeah, we stayed on topic extremely well tonight. By the way,
Yes, we did.
Oh,
I'm impressed. Okay, best food. All right. Do you know what I had today? And it was sweet. I had to go to the post office to mail you guys something. Stephen, you've got a package coming, by the way. Okay. So as I'm coming back, I look over and okay, I don't know how it is in Kentucky and Arkansas, but in Mississippi, some of the best food you will ever get is in a service station.
Yeah.
I mean, there are service stations that they're your go-to places. Well, there's this place down here called Fayard's. They do po' boys and stuff. Well, the service station had Fayard's, but then down below it had, I forget the name of it, but it was Caribbean Grill. And I'm like, okay, that sounds good. So I went in and, the whole back part of the store is a kitchen, and dude with an authentic Caribbean accent, waving and everything from the back. And this kid comes out and I'm like, okay, first off, they've got two sizes. They've got large and small. It's $4 difference in them. I'm like, what's the difference between a large and a small? He shows me things. I'm like, okay, I want two smalls then. I got a Caribbean curried chicken and a, what was the other one? A brown chicken stew. They came with rice and beans. One came with mac and cheese. The other one came with plantains. There was enough food for three of us to eat, and there was that much more food left.
Crazy.
And that was the smalls. I bought smalls, and it was phenomenal. I mean, the flavor was just absolutely amazing. So that's my food for you.
I haven't had one that I absolutely loved. I had a disappointment.
Well, I didn't say what you loved. I said the best thing you've ate in a month.
Nothing. The biggest disappointment I've had in a month, and I'm gonna put them on blast because I'm somebody that will travel if somebody says that they
Here we go. Here we go.
Burger. Like Mandy and I have traveled. You know what I'm saying? Like we've traveled for a good cheeseburger. like hours. And so this play, we went and watched Mark Norman. I guess it was last week or the week before, at Comedy Off Broadway. And there's a place in Lexington called Boondogs. Boondogs.
Boondogs.
Boondogs.
Dogs. You're saying dogs like
D-O-G.
woof woof. Okay.
Yeah, Boondogs. And they're supposed to have this immaculate burger and great hot dogs. So we went. The burger was subpar, to say the least.
Okay.
Mandy got a dog, which was a hot dog for Boondogs. She said it was pretty subpar as well. The chili was too tomatoey, she said, which that might be some
Ooh.
jam. I don't know. I'm going to give them another shot though, because the wings they had that came out looked pretty good. They looked okay. I didn't have any, but as far as their burgers and stuff, what's happened with these places that quit salting burgers? They just don't put any salt on them, like at all,
No.
like nothing. What's happened there? Is it
Pat's-
because of work conditions?
Pat still salts their burgers.
Oh yeah, you find a really good burger, but this place had zero. It's real bland, like it's just bland. It was like
I got you.
it's all right, I guess.
Well, that's unfortunate.
But anything as far as good stuff, nothing.
Nothing.
Not in the last month, no.
You ain't
Just-
made nothing that was decent?
Oh, I mean, I made a burger that was really good. Mandy's made some stuff that was good.
That might be true, Lando.
Yeah.
Oh, Mandy made some kebabs that were delicious on the grill the other day. They were really good. Chicken.
I'm not a kebab person.
I ain't either. But she rakes them off on the rice, and I'm like, nom, 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 nom.
What about you, Steven?
Probably a filet mignon. That's we were at a Roadhouse there a while back, and
Roadhouse.
I picked out the one that I wanted. Of course, I had it cooked medium, and whoever cooked it, they did an excellent job with it.
Nice.
My parents asked me what I wanted for my birthday, and I said steak dinner.
Yeah.
Cooked by my dad, like just something low commitment.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know what happened there.
Okay.
Where'd Morgana go?
She needs to
But
come
it's-
back.
Yeah, it's probably a little over a month ago though. It's probably a couple months ago. It's the only time I go out and get steaks like that is whenever we go to town. We'll go to Texarkana or something. And but at Outback, if you can catch Outback whenever they're doing, I think it was only on Fridays and Saturdays, but they had their porterhouse steaks.
I love a good porterhouse.
And yeah, they that was really good too. Like I said, that might have been 2 months, 2.5 months ago, something like that. It's been a while.
Oh yeah, that's true too, Larry. People are getting more conscious about what they have to disclose about their food, Cecil. So maybe Larry's theory is right.
Ooh,
Jalapeno. Yeah, drop anybody that's still left out there listening. Drop your favorite foods that you've ate in the last month.
Oh, that sounds really, really good.
Jalapeno catfish sounds amazing, actually.
That sounds really good.
How did Landa? You got to submit like what at least what you think that recipe consisted of. Like I've never heard of such a thing.
Jalapeno catfish, it'd be delicious.
Yeah. Guys, I'll tell you, I know you like to cook, and something that I have discovered is that you can cook ribs, and you go ahead and let them rest, do whatever. Whenever you're reheating your ribs, put them in an air fryer to reheat them. And
Don't make them tough.
No. It'll make them good.
There's some things that I love the air fryer for, and some things I'm like, this has ruined my food. Like boneless wings get too done in the air fryer,
They're not even wings. They're chicken chunks.
And then traditional wings are good to go in the air fryer, but boneless wings will burn up. And any sort of burrito in the air fryer, it makes the tortilla hard.
That'd be easy recipe to figure out. Cajun fried
Yeah.
catfish with a creamy jalapeno sauce.
Oh, okay. Now
Ronnie, dude, where have you been? Whoop whoop.
Whoop.
God.
Yeah. Okay, so it's a jalapeno sauce. I like that. I like that idea there. Okay.
That does sound really good, Landa.
Yeah.
There you are.
Yeah, I'll swap spots.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
I had to go look for something. I actually made dirty rice tonight, Linda.
Have you heard of a jalapeno catfish?
Let's see. Cajun fried catfish. Oh, now see, I make creamy jalapeno sauce and creamy shrimp sauce with jalapenos. And
Put that all over everything.
Yeah.
I do not eat catfish just fried. Because I grew up in the Delta and Mo had a friend whose levee broke for his catfish ponds. And he said, just go. I would rather you fish them, bring your family and friends. And we were eating catfish every flipping day.
Oh, yeah.
So if I make catfish, there's going to be a sauce every time.
Put a stick through it and hold it over a fire.
Morgan, how do you make your creamy jalapeno sauce?
What I normally do with that is I take butter and let that simmer down. And then I usually take cream, heavy whipping cream, put that in there. And if it won't thicken up, sometimes because you got to go super slow. If I want it to thicken up a little bit quicker, I'll make like a little cornstarch slurry and put in it. Okay. And then I put sauteed jalapenos because I don't want them super crunchy to go over it. And like I said, a lot of times I'll also like saute shrimp and put that in it too, and then just pour it across it. And some parm. It's good with parm in it too.
Okay.
Sounds amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I can make that. I'm gonna make that. I'm gonna make that.
Hey, Ronnie, I don't know if Cecil asked, but do you play Dungeons and Dragons?
I did bring you up last week.
Okay.
We're still looking for people to play Dungeons and Dragons remotely.
We're gonna get a D&D game going.
And so who wants to play? I've got my book. Hang on, I'll go get it.
So the best thing that I've had in the last month was made by Rachel.
Mm-hmm.
And she's been mastering the art of focaccia.
Ooh.
And so she made a focaccia and then made chicken cutlets homemade and then made homemade Alfredo sauce. And we had focaccia flat chicken Alfredo flatbreads. And it's nuts. It's absolutely nuts because there's so much butter, like so much
it
butter.
Doesn't
you
matter.
Can't go wrong.
If you ever perfect homemade Alfredo, you will turn your nose up at every other Alfredo.
It was good. It was good. It was so really good.
I made my own journal for my new D&D character. So I mean, it's legit. Like I can put all the stats and all that.
Jenny, we don't care. We don't care. We're just looking for a crew to get together.
I got combat abilities.
I have not played D&D for 40 years, but I'm willing.
It's time to start. It's time to start. We're
I've got a digital version of it too, so when we play online, I can keep track of both. So.
I've got I don't know that I want to be the DM forever, but I could definitely DM for a while until we find a really good storyteller.
Yeah, we need a good storyteller.
I can get some crazy stories together though that are all original.
He's not played.
Well, Ronnie, it's total nerd stuff. So if you're not into nerding out, then you may not be interested.
So, I forget exactly because there's all the subgroups and all that stuff. But the only thing I can remember is the last time I played being a chaotic good elf ranger.
Okay.
Yeah.
Evil.
No, I was chaotic good.
Well, rogue assassin.
Well, Cecil,
You know-
do you have some of the original D&D books that came out years ago?
Dude,
No.
I wish I still had my books.
Oh,
I had books like back in 2004, and my buddy
I
took
had
them.
books in '84.
Keep in mind, I've not played D&D.
Those would be worth money.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
I've probably not
those.
played D&D in like 23 or 24 years.
Yeah.
It's been about 20 years for me.
Look,
Yeah.
I have an ex that I'm not going to speak ill of the dead, but I lost so much stuff when that ended, and those old books were pretty much in that.
Yeah.
I had an entire storage unit full of stuff that got auctioned off.
Oh,
Well, Ronnie, I'm having to rely on Cecil to roll my character and stuff because I forgot how. But
Yeah.
If you want to nerd out, you're totally welcome. We'll and you, Landa, if you are interested in nerding
Anybody
out.
wants to play, it's basically just
It's
you
a
have
role-playing
somebody tell
game.
a story and you're a role player. Yeah.
Yeah, it's and we may, I don't know. Well, we'll see.
It'd be
see.
fun. I may even utilize AI.
I'm not gonna use AI for storytelling. I'm gonna make up stories, but
I think it'd be cool to use for image.
Well, yeah, I
yes.
forgot what
That
it
was
is.
the big thing, back then, is if you didn't have any drawing ability, you just imagined it.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. Like
so-
for AI for maps would be cool.
Uh-huh.
Like,
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
like this is where you are on the map, like in Mordor or whatever. Mordor equivalent.
Hmm.
God, that's
But
forward.
yeah, it'll be really fun.
Yep.
The only thing that everybody needs, and this isn't a requirement, but you'll have to get some dice.
No, that's fine. I'll figure that out. We can actually have the dice roll on the screen with another camera.
Oh, sweet. Yeah. That'll work. So
There's not
you just-
there's not an online dice generator.
Maybe.
Well, if that's the case, we can just share the screen and roll the dice that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it'd be more nerdish if we could get a camera to where you could see it's like the DOS cam. That way, it's
Yeah.
like true. It's
Yeah.
not an algorithm. It's true.
Okay.
chance.
All right. Just shut up and I'll go order damn dice.
I've got dice.
Oh, do you? Okay.
It's the
Cecil's got the dice covered.
I kept my dice.
it's the simulation algorithm instead of Chat GPT or whatever.
Well, I managed to hold on to my dice this whole time. I still got my dice from when I was a teenager.
Dude,
Yeah.
I have a bag of dice somewhere in Manchester.
Yeah.
In a whiskey sack. I think it's a
Crown Royal.
Crown Royal bag. Yeah. I got a whole bag of dice because I used to play Magic, and unfortunately, like D&D, I don't have any brethren that play Magic, so I kind of lost touch with it.
Yeah. I never played that wicked game.
Magic's super fun, man. It's just it's an expensive hobby, like Warhammer
Yeah. Oh, crap.
or
Yeah.
guitar.
Guitar's an expensive one. Oh god. Guitar's probably the most expensive. But yeah, good show. What
Good
time is
show.
it? I can't see anything properly.
It- 8:04, 7 or 9:04, depending on where you're at.
Yeah, we gave you all a little time here. I'm glad Tully managed to come back for a minute.
Yeah, I'll be back. I'll probably be back next week and maybe even the week after before I'm going to Bouvet Island again.
Buffet
are-
Island.
Not going to Florida this year. You're grounded.
I
You've
just-
used up all
it's-
your vacation days.
It's a rough year, folks,
Yes, it
for
is.
me being around. But
I thought you went
I'm-
there in July.
Bouvet Island,
No, Florida.
it is July. Yeah,
Where are you going in Buffet Island? What's Buffet Island?
it's where the earthquake machine is, close to Antarctica. That's where
Oh,
I've
so
been.
it's not real. Is what you're saying. Okay. Even though that stuff's real. But anyway, don't forget, If you want to support us and you want to look fresh doing it,
That's
go on
amazing,
up to
right?
our website right here. We got some nice little hats. You can change colors on these things. You can get all kinds of different cool little designs and whatnot. Let's see. Gotta go back. Got a bag.
I need to.
I'm
work
waiting on
the
Cecil to get
design.
us a good a new April/May design. If you want to design a new shirt, we'll throw it up for the next quarter.
I've been busy. But yeah, I can do it.
If Morgana wants to design it, or Steven wants to design a new shirt, we'll get it going.
Let's do it.
In your head, Steven, if you could think of it, I can put it to paper.
Okay.
Don't forget our sweet ass bumper sticker. We got if you shop at Aldi, we got some tote bags. We got some hoodies, some shirts, all kinds
And
of cool
I'm going to
stuff.
tell you, those hoodies are nice.
They are actually nice. I like this shirt. It's probably one of my favorites. I've got that one. This one's a good one. Morgana's currently wearing this exact shirt. It's dope as hell.
It is the only pink piece of clothing I own.
Yeah. And we got stickers.
Yeah, that is dope as hell.
Yeah.
The stickers are cool. Like that
Mhm.
die cut sticker of the design that Morgana has on is a peak.
Yep.
And the Lisa Frank.
Oh yeah. That little sticker right there.
Mm-hmm.
You can get there by going to linktree.com/wearing the folk. And the exclusive merchandise right here. And there's also Cosmic Crumbs every Thursday at 7 p.m. This is Tully's podcast where he discusses recipes and talks stories, and you can choose your own adventure. Go here and sign up for the melon list. Get on that melon list. Share your
If you like spam, go watch last night's episode.
Tully,
Yeah.
I've learned that on Tully's show, he's real bougie, because when you're like, here's a really good cheese sandwich recipe, he's like, get out of here with that. Then I shared this awesome PB&J recipe. He didn't even say what it was.
And I'm running and gunning. If you want it red, it has to be submitted through that link that you see right there. Right there.
And I was going to drop my hot dog recipe, but I figure you just snuff your nose at it.
Throw it into the recipes. I don't care. Throw anything into the recipes or stories or whatever. Anything that goes into this comes before videos, comes before stories, anything else. Like any user submitted stuff, aside from what Morgana submitted last week.
I was going to go there.
Because I forgot.
After I texted it to him and said, "Hey, do I need to upload this?" Yeah, do that.
Hey, we had a lot of spam last week, Landa, or this week. Yesterday, we had a lot of spam. Fago. I haven't had a Fago recipe. I don't know if that's what you meant.
And also this Monday, hopefully this Monday, Till Death Do We Watch, first episode that's going to premiere on Till Death Do Us Watch YouTube channel.
What are you doing?
I don't know. I've got a couple in the chamber. I'm hoping that I can get it uploaded by Monday. If not, it'll be coming soon. This is the YouTube channel. There we go. And Between the Notes will be coming at some point.
We're pushing it to summer.
To summer. This summer,
yes.
Between the Notes is coming out.
Yes, I want to be realistic, so I'm going to say summer.
Sweet. We had ours set up to premiere on the 20th. And I really want to pivot the movie that we're doing, but I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I threw all my stuff out, which I slop my show together, but I found something that might be the holy grail of subject matter that I'm going to put on the Choose Your Next Adventure list.
Mm-hmm.
It's messy relationship stuff that people post on Reddit, and it's hilarious. Like my my what was it? There was one that was like, my husband is now dating my daughter. Was one of the threads, and I'm like, God Almighty, like that's content gold.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
Okay, Mo introduced me the first family reunion I went to with him. He's pointing out people, okay, that's my dad's, brother. That's my cousin such and such. And he goes, okay, that's my cousin such and such's son, Joe. Okay. And that's his brother, John. Okay. And that's their wife. And I'm like, wait, what? He goes, well, she was married to Joe. They had a couple of kids, and then she divorced Joe and married John, and then they have a couple of kids. I said, so their kids are cousins and brothers and sisters. And he goes, uh-huh. Okay. There is not a person in Mo's family that once we got married that I would ever consider dating material, because we are now officially family. Just
well,
I mean, sometimes you gotta spread it around.
hey, you do you, but it's not for me.
There's someone that I'm not going to name names, but there's a person that we know who they did foreign exchange, like foreign exchange students.
Yeah.
And they basically did foreign exchange for this girl from another country until she was of age, and then the husband leaves the wife to be with this 18-year-old foreign exchange girl.
We don't know Woody Allen.
And then
right.
And then they start having children.
Wow.
Like it's absolutely awful. So stuff like that really does exist. Like,
oh yeah,
it happens.
I would show the video of our hometown that's been circulating, but it's pretty.
Oh dear God.
Trashy.
Okay. That's just without showing the video. What exactly is that about?
Redneck brawls? Is that what you're talking about?
Redneck brawl, yeah.
Cecil's gonna do it. I'm convincing him. I'm working on it.
And here's the thing: if Cecil does it, I want video. But
yeah, all Cecil has to do is Cecil could call out this guy that this stuff happened to at Walmart the other day, and it would be on.
Yeah, he's in jail right now.
Yes, Jenny. Yes. Yeah,
I know we talk about our hometown often, but man, watching that video. Oh yeah, Pure Way honey. Go get you some honey.
Honey, yes.
Get you some. Our QH codes are missing. QH things are missing.
Oh well, I took them off for the guest last week as well.
Oh okay.
There's our QR codes.
Yeah, QR codes.
You can hit the QR. You can go get the honey that makes you funny.
I'm trying
to get you right.
It's the good stuff.
The good stuff, yes.
I'm really trying to find this video. I think they've taken it down because it turned into legal action. Let's see.
You can probably find it on the talk.
On TikTok?
Probably. It's the Wild West for content.
My favorite one was the girl that referred to herself as the Peter Beater.
Oh God.
Oh no, there was the one that I think the one that that beat him up is what did he say? Hang on. Benzo Barbie.
Benzo Barbie.
Benzo Barbie is one of their names.
God, I don't really even want to show his Oh no, I can't find it. Let's see. Manchester.
Benzo Barbie. If that's your handle for Fight Club, you've either made some really good decisions or really bad decisions, and the lines are blurred.
See, I really want to go there as far as, it's like Fight Club, but Fight Club is quiet and secret.
No, this ain't quiet or secret.
I know. I saw the video.
And you get people who are like 600 pounds and they throw like 3 punches, and then the smaller person will just hammer them. Because nobody, they're going like 8 rounds. So everybody's throwing fisticuffs in the first round like crazy. And in the last 7 rounds, usually they're both like gassed, about to fall on the floor, like that kind of thing.
That's Mo had a nephew that everybody was terrified of him because he was notorious for beating the hell out of people. If you said the wrong thing to him, it was on. And got to sitting back looking, and Mo and I were talking one night. I'm like, he's short-winded as hell. If they can just stay out of his way for like 2 minutes, he's done.
That's the problem. That's the problem with the redneck brawls is nobody understands conditioning.
Right.
Right.
Like
And
nobody even thinks about it before they get in that ring. So after like 17 punches, they're like, "Oh my God, I'm gassed."
Yeah. And I'm happy to say I was actually standing there the night somebody figured that out, and it was somebody who wasn't from our town. So they weren't scared of him. They didn't know his reputation. So, the guy just kind of stayed back out of his way. And after about 2 minutes, Jimmy's gasping for breath, and the guy just one good time and he hit the ground. Like,
I think they may have pulled the video from the internet because the one I sent you didn't include what happened, what Tully's talking about. It was just the promos of them going around and people screaming and stuff. But what
are you looking for?
I'm looking for the promo video, and I cannot find it.
Well, you should have said something. Hang on. I thought you were looking for him getting beat up at Walmart.
No, I don't want to see that on here.
That's hilarious.
Billy.
So this dude goes to Walmart to have a fan meeting, and Benzo Barbie shows up and starts throwing hands in Walmart parking lot.
I'm trying to avoid showing anything with him on it. I just want to give you. I can't find it. It's not even on Billy's page.
Well, they might have. They might have took it down.
Yeah, I think they took it down because it turned into a legal matter. The ladies.
Oh no, I got it.
All right,
hang on. Hold the phone.
Where are you sending it to?
I can. Do you want me to send it to you,
or can you play it on here?
I'll have to email it to myself. If I can text it, you get your phone app on your computer?
It won't let me pull anything like that.
Hang on.
Email that sucker. But we can watch it. I don't care to watch the promo video. It's kind of ridiculous, but
you should have it here in a second.
I got it. Upgraded my internet, so now it's faster.
You're booping, so we may have audio immediately. I don't know.
Oh no, I want the promo video from Walmart.
Oh, well, play that one anyway.
It's got him on it specifically, but that's fine, I guess. So this is a little area. This first guy is from Corbin, which is right down the road, and the second guy is going to be from the hometown where Tully and I are from.
These are the redneck brawls.
Yeah, these are redneck brawl promos.
Taxi, Denver Baker from 606 in Corbin, Kentucky. I'm calling out Darryl Hinkle. I want you at Knoxville, Tennessee, May 9th.
So it's ready, it's on. How you gonna get all the high testosterone you can handle right here, brother? May the 9th. Stick it in the jawbreaker.
Don't come up with no excuses that your car broke down or you ain't got no gas money, because I'll get you there. Hear me? I'll have somebody bring you. So be there, get what's coming to you, and can't wait, baby.
Come on! Get yourself!
If you didn't hear in the beginning, he says his nickname's Big Sexy, the first guy. They said, "This is Big Sexy from Corbin, Kentucky."
And just so you know, that's where KFC originated.
Oh, lordy. Like I said, yeah, I only want to see it if Cecil participates.
I can't get like that. I really can't get like that.
You could, yes. Like, just call out one of the McDonald's people the next time they don't give you your sauce.
I'm taking you in the ring, brother.
Yeah, meet me at the redneck brawls.
Watch you in the ring.
Oh my God.
I'm 40 years old. Oh,
So, dude, they're older than that.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
Oh, and that's your one girl on the promo you sent yesterday doesn't have a tooth in her head.
Degens.
Legends. Yeah. But yeah, that's the whole town where Tully and I grew up.
It really is, though. It truly, from the bottom of my heart, is all like that's everybody. That's 95% of the people.
I'm not criticizing because I go home every once in a while too. So I mean, it's a different kind of okay. Y'all's are more hillbilly, ours are more redneck, if that makes sense. But it's the same gene pool. I mean, they're all coming. The accent's just a little different.
But if we could convince Cecil to do it, Cecil's 6'4", 6'5", got good hands.
Yeah.
We just need you. We got to get you in like fighting shape though. That way you can be in round 4 and still be throwing some punches.
Yeah.
The older I've gotten, the less I've used them. My wrists have gotten weak.
But they're wrapped in the redneck brawls though.
Or are
Here's
they
the
wrapped?
thing.
Yeah, you're boxing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can box.
If you come at me like that, I'm too old for that crap. I'm gonna shoot you. End of
You
story.
get gloves, so it ain't like you're gonna get like super hurt. Your nose might get broke if you take the wrong hit. But
No. My dad, as a solution to us fighting as teenagers, brought home boxing gloves. I have been hit with them more than once. That shit hurts. So,
trained in boxing for 4 years.
yeah, it's boxing. It's not bare knuckle brawling. Like it ain't that. You might have got the wrong idea to the audience out there. It's not bare knuckle brawling. They put these people in a ring with boxing gloves and wraps on, so nobody's getting super hurt. You're talking about maybe a broken nose at worst.
Yeah. Okay, so this is like just a modern version of what used to be the Tough Man contest.
Yeah, or what's the channel on YouTube that's backyard brawling with they do the street beefs.
Street beefs.
Street beefs.
Only
talk to talk.
The biggest thing, I can't cut a good promo anymore. I ain't got that kind of charisma. I'd have to drink like 28 beers to be able to do that.
Well, see, that's the problem. Is like, I think where we're from, we're the exact opposite, Lando. We only walk the walk and don't yap about it.
Yeah.
It was just straight to business.
See, we had a rule growing up. My dad was very firm in you defend yourself, but do not pass the first lick. Well, if you like to fight, you can piss somebody off enough to get them to hit you. So I talk because that's how I got by with for years fighting with boys until my dad overheard me doing it one time. Yeah, then I didn't get to talk shit anymore.
Cecil's an expert in all this, manipulating people to fight. I mean, it's
do that a lot.
It's your whole wheelhouse, dude. You could be famous,
but where we come from,
you can promote the show while you're up there.
Where we come from, though, like when I was a teenager and I had a house full of people all the time, like the thing we did for fun was like, let's go outside and fight. Just like for fun. And I had these 2 trees in my yard, and if you got knocked outside the tree, then you lost. But those got pretty brutal, and it was just for fun.
and that stopped when we turned 30.
My hands are busted all the hell from it. Like literally, I've got that thing right there that just sticks up all the time from some bad hit. Yeah. I don't know if I miss it, Tully. I don't think I do.
Well, it's not about missing the fight. I need you to do it for the infamy so that you can promote the show and everything else. Like it.
I do have help. I've got a leg up on most of them.
Yeah, all you got to be like is call your insurance and be like, I fell.
I fell into a fist.
Right.
That'd be
Then
fun.
somebody sends a copy of it to your insurance company.
Yeah.
Because hey, the internet is forever, people.
Oh shit! I'll get
am
up to that Billy boy.
so glad I did not live my wild years with internet.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we would be. I wouldn't be here today on this show if our wild years were on the internet.
Oh, no.
Right.
Jeez Louise.
I mean, I've got some questionable photographs that, the kind of photographs that you didn't know what you had until you got film developed and it came in and you're like, at
Yeah.
least the person that developed it didn't call the police because that's weed.
I found a picture of me of a couple years back before all of MySpace was completely erased. Thank God. There were some pictures on my MySpace that were very, very bad. And that's like the first beginnings of that. And so I didn't have any common sense to not put stuff there.
Right.
Yeah. We had a lot of compromising stuff for sure.
Yeah. So but that's gone now.
Anywho, it was a good night back.
Redneck Brawl 2026.
And I'll be back at least next week, maybe the week after, and then I might be gone again. We'll see.
All right, good deal. Okay. Anyway, thank you all so much for coming out tonight. We appreciate you. We love you. Buy some shit from us. Buy some honey. That honey's legit. That's the good stuff.
Yes,
the honey is the good stuff. It's allergy season. You want something for your throat? Get the honey.
Get the honey. And thank you all so much for watching us because we are watching you. Peace.